What's up everybody, this is Big Zess here and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to be discussing how to make money during this Alliance Aid event. And one of my favorite ways to make money is doing the bounty missions that are available utilizing my Corsair. There's a particular mission that pays 466k, and generally you would want to do this mission in a group. However, if you utilize the tactics that are shown in this video, you can very easily solo this mission quite reliably. The mission only takes about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the enemies that spawn, and there are two particular loadouts that I would recommend that you use if you're using a Corsair. One being my standard loadout that I showed in the video regarding my Corsair kind of review video. I like to use CF repeaters. They just tend to be very dependable and very consistent when it comes to all types of fighter ships, although they do struggle with bigger ships. Or you can also use attritions. Attritions are also very reliable, not as reliable with smaller ships because the velocity of the blasters are not as fast as the CF repeaters. So it may be a little bit difficult to hit smaller ships, but they definitely hit a lot harder on the medium and bigger size ships. So whatever loadout you decide to use is up to your preference. But anyway, the mission that we're talking about is going to be under contracts. As you guys can see, I've been doing quite a bit of them. It's called Alliance Aid Ship Under Attack. So you go onto the priority section, you scroll down, and it's the Alliance Aid Ship Under Attack for 466k. All right, let's go ahead and accept this mission and get to the demonstration. So first up here, we're going to be using the attrition loadout, and as you can see, it's easier to stay on target when an enemy is close to you, but once they're outside of about, I want to say 1,000 meters and maneuvering, it's a bit more difficult to stay on target. Bigger or medium-sized ships like the Star Lancer, you saw that one. That was pretty easy to make some quick work of. Usually moving a bit slow, but quicker ships, more maneuverable ships, smaller ships, you might have some difficulties staying on target with the attritions unless you're within about 1,000-meter distance. Anything beyond 1,000 meters with the attritions, especially if they're a much more maneuverable ship, you're gonna have some trouble fighting. With bigger ships, it tears through shields and tears through holes a lot faster. I think the output damage or the overall damage that the attrition loadout can provide is like a little over 9,000 on paper, but in practice, you know, numbers aren't everything. What matters most is whether or not you can actually hit your shots. And here we have I believe it's a Corsair. Makes quick work of a Corsair. Staying within 1,000 meters, making sure all of our shots are hitting on target. So boom. And then this other ship here takes a little bit longer. This is like a heavy fighter of some sort. He starts to get outside of 1,000 meters and it's a bit more difficult to hit my shots. So I let him run. I switched to missiles. And the reason why you want to just let them run, because with this particular mission, it's happened so many times where if I chase the enemy, once they start running away, the mission starts to bug and glitch, and the ship starts to die for some reason. So your objective in this particular mission is to stay near the ship at all costs. Just be a sitting duck and let the ships come to you. And that's the easiest way to ensure that the mission is completed successfully. So just stay right next to the Caterpillar, let the ships come to you, rain fire when you have the opportunity. And this guy, he's taking a bit longer, much more tougher to take out, but he starts to run away. I switch to missiles, let the missiles track him down, and then he eventually starts to come back. I switched to precision mode because in precision mode, if you put the crosshair over the target, most times the ship will do the aiming for you. So that's another pro tip. If they are beyond 1,000 meters and they're in, if you can track them reasonably, use precision mode and it'll help you out a lot. So we're going to go ahead and head back to base and switch to the CF repeater loadout and run this again. All right, we got our CF repeaters equipped. It's time to run this back. All right, so with the CF repeaters, due to their much higher velocity, you could actually engage targets a little beyond 1,000 meters, probably up to 2 kilometers if you wanted to, but preferably 1.5 kilometers will probably be the max that I would generally do, unless it's a bigger ship. The smaller ships, they're still very maneuverable. They can still dodge quite a bit of the fire, but the most consistent way to shoot down a ship is when they're coming towards you. They like to just barrel in a straight line most of the time, and you can usually make some quick work of them. So as you can see, the CF repeaters, it's just a very steady, quick, high velocity, more reliable stream of fire. Doesn't do as much damage as the attritions per shot, but much more reliable in the sense that you can hit your shots more effectively, especially on the lighter fighters. It might take a little work to get on target, but once you are on target, that steady stream will wear them out. Another downside probably of the CF repeaters is that you run out of ammo quite often, and the recharge time, especially when you start to fight the bigger ships, it's always an issue having to wait for your capacitors to recharge. With the attritions, due to their slower rate of fire, and you still get the same amount of ammo capacity on hand. So you have 150 regardless if you have attritions or with the CF repeaters. CF repeaters run through their capacitors very quickly. The attritions have, if you have the opportunity to do steady streams of fire, especially on the bigger ships, you can stay on target a lot longer than with the CF repeater. So in this last wave, we're fighting against a Carrack and an M2 Starlifter, 2 heavy ships with large health pools and large shield pools. It takes a while for the CF repeaters to take these guys out. I use my missiles when I have the opportunity, but you see the downside in this section on using the CF repeaters. But a pro tip I would recommend, especially if you're fighting against these larger ships, is to utilize precision mode. When you use precision mode, you can steady your stream of fire on a specific particular spot. If you can make your put the damage focus on a particular area over and over and over again, that's going to help you, especially when you're using CF repeaters. It's going to help you punch through that health pool and that hole a lot quicker than just kind of sporadically and randomly spreading the damage all over across the entire ship. It'll go down a lot quicker if you focus the damage on a particular area. They usually start to run once their health gets low, and that's usually the sign where you switch to missiles.
Congratulations. Target is destroyed. Shield system is hit.
Alright, we got the Carrack down. The M2 is left to go. M2 is basically a victim. It's not much of a threat. It's just a victim. It is so slow, but just stay like just with the Carrack. Just stay on target. Use precision mode. Choose a particular spot, and it'll go down eventually.
out. Take care.
Well, we finally got that mission out of the way. As you guys can see, it's pretty easy to get this mission done. You can do it in about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on your loadout, depending on the enemies that spawn. There's pros and cons to each one. For those who might want to use ballistics, that's also a route that you might want to go. I personally don't use ballistics due to the ammo capacity restrictions, but considering the time that it takes to jump between locations, possibly restock for missiles or repair, depending on the situation, it's going to take anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes per run. And if, let's say on the high end, you do 6 runs per hour, you're still making almost 3 million AUEC. And that's really good money. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Before we sign off here, I do want to put up the damage charts between the two loadouts that we discussed in this video. So this is my typical loadout with the CF repeaters. We have about a little over 6,000 burst DPS. And this is the loadout with all the attritions. You have around 9,000 burst DPS. But hopefully the demonstration has showed that numbers on paper is not always everything. The situation may or may not allow you to land your shots on target, especially if you're using the attritions. So it's all up to play style. I typically prefer the CF repeaters because it just gives me the most predictable outcome, regardless of which ship I'm fighting against. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until next time, stay safe out there, and peace.